Assalamualaikum and good morning to all lecturer and friend. Today our group would like to present on the topic of inflation. This topic is very relevant because inflation not only affect the country economy but also in daily life. This is our group members and we will discuss each part in detail. Firstly, let's know more about inflation. Here deeper explanation of the 2 points about inflation. First, sustained increase in the general level of price. Inflation refers to the continuous rise in the price of goods and services in an economy over a certain period of time. This means that over time, the same amount of money buys fewer goods and services, which is often described as a decrease in the purchasing power of money. Second, a key economic indicator which brought inflation. Inflation is one of the most critical indicators of an economic health. It is wide-ranging effects such as consumer, business and government, also investment. I will explain more about business and government. In business, it can increase production costs such as raw material, wages, potentially producing profit margin unless price and risk. In government, inflation affects monetary policy decision. Central bank may increase interest rate to curb high inflation or lower rate to stimulate in the economic during low inflation or deflation. And based on the formula of to calculate inflation rate is consumer price index year after minus year before divided by CPI year before multiplied by 100.
For the inflation, we have three types of inflation. The first type is a demand pull. Demand pull is a inflation refer to an increase in the general price level due to increase in aggregate demand or AD at the pool employment level. The second one is a cost push. Cost push inflation is an increase in the general price level due to an increase the firm production cost regardless of productivity. And the last one is import inflation. Import inflation is an increase in the price of import raw material.
Causes of inflation. First, demand pull inflations occurs when the demand for goods and services in the economy becomes higher than the supply. Because supply is limited, price will begin to rise and this will cause inflation. Second, cost push inflations. When the cost of producing goods increase, brands may increase the price of their product to maintain their profit margins. This higher cost will be transferred to consumers in the form of higher price of goods. Third, imported inflation occur when the price of imported goods increase. This will cause production costs for local businesses to increase as well. As a result, the price of goods produced in the country will also increase at the same time as inflations occur. Finally, salary increase. As salary rise, consumer purchase power will be higher. This at the same time increase the demand for certain goods. If the supply of goods cannot meet this growing demand, the price of goods will increase rapidly and cause inflation.
Disadvantage of inflation. First, purchasing power. Inflation affects consumer by eroding purchasing power, as higher price mean that more money is needed to buy goods and services at a lower quantity. This can lead to a decline in living standards. Second, balance of payment. Inflation can impact a country's balance of payment, as higher domestic inflation can make export more expensive and import cheaper, potentially leading to trade deficit and currency depreciation. Third, cost of production. Inflation increase production costs such as raw material price, labor wage, and other inputs. Company may need to raise price and find ways to reduce costs in order to maintain profit in the face of inflation. Lastly is fixed income earner. Those with fixed income such as salary people will be affected by price increase in the market because their income has not increased due to market price increase.
What is advantage of inflation? First, is high profit to the producers. This is because the producers can experience better profits because they can sell their products at higher price. Second, better investment returns. During inflation, investors and entrepreneurs receive added incentive for investing in productive activities. Third, increase in production. Once the producers receive the right investment, producers can create more goods and services. Hence, inflation leads to an increase in production of products or services. Fourth, more employment and better income. Since production increase, there is an increased demand for various factors of production, including manpower. Therefore, employment and income increase during inflation.
For this part, we provided an example situation on how Malaysia control inflation. An economist of the MIDF research named Abdul Muiz Mohalim stated that the core inflation continues to increase and reaches 4.2% in November 2022. Bank Negara Malaysia is expected to increase the overnight policy rate to control the inflation that is caused by demand pressure lately. According to him, the growth of retail rate is steady as ever with the record of 22.8% in that month, and this figure shows that consumer spending is still strong. He stated that the increase of OPR is necessary so that consumer spending can be controlled to reduce the pressure of demand on inflation. At a meeting on 3rd March 2023, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank decided to increase OPR by 25 basis points to 3%. In an article published by Berita Harian, the head of research of TA Securities, Kalade Govindan, stated that higher interest rates lead to increased cost of borrowings from banks, which has the potential to reduce borrowing, thereby slowing investment and consumption. At the meeting of 5th September 2024, the MPC decided to maintain the OPR at 3%. The decision is aimed at maintaining economic growth while ensuring price stability as the country continues to recover from the global economic slowdown. According to an article published by Majalah Labo, the headline inflation and core inflation remain moderate with the average of 1.8% since earlier this year until November.
Next, we attach the video talk about inflation in Malaysia by Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim.
Pertamanya, apakah ada kesan kenaikan inflasi? Saya setuju memang ada. Cuma kalau dia sekitar 2% masih terkawal, masih rendah. Dan ada pandangan bahawa ada juga kesan di kalangan rakyat. Dan sebab itu kita cuba bantu dengan menambah umpamanya STR dan beberapa tambahan untuk kerana faham bahawa ada kesan kenaikan kos sara hidup. Cara mengurangkan tekanan itu adalah menambah STR kepada rakyat terbanyak, dan seperti mana kita tahu dia dah mencecah jumlah bantuan kerajaan sudah 10 bilion tahun ini.
To conclude the overall discussion, we now know that inflation is a key economic indicator that affects the purchasing power of money and has major consequences for society. Inflation can offer economic possibilities and help specific sectors of economy, but it also carries a risk that must be carefully managed. Therefore, controlling inflation is crucial for maintaining economic stability and ensuring consumer purchasing power. So to control the inflation, governments and central banks must take an action to implement strategies to manage and mitigate inflation effectively, such as adjusting monetary policy or stabilizing the currency in Malaysia. Striking a balance between the advantages and the challenges of inflation requires a deep understanding of its underlying causes, its impact on different stakeholders to minimize its negative effects in inflation. In conclusion, and the strategies available, understanding this process is important to successfully manage the inflation system in our country. So that's all from our group about the macroeconomics issue of inflation. Thank you for hearing us today. Have a nice day.